Muslims, everybody's got an opinion about us. I expect the most common one is that we're all terrorists planning to kill you. You've all seen the news, terrorists taking over Muslim countries, bombs going off, guns being fired. It's very, very frightening. It's easy to form the impression that we're all terrorists or terrorist sympathizers. The truth is far from this image. Muslims have a long shared history with Britain. It stretches back over 1,000 years. Did you know coins from Muslim countries dating back to the 8th century were used in Great Britain? In the 1600s, Muslim traders lived in London. These traders had moved to London from Muslim countries and were involved in the trading of goods to and from the Middle East. If you think mosques are new to Great Britain, you'd be wrong. The first was built in Cardiff in 1860. Yes, for hundreds of years, Muslim soldiers, sailors and now airmen and women have served in the British military. And the same still applies today, with hundreds serving in our armed forces, and many have served in recent conflicts. Following World War II, Britain was short of workers to do vital jobs. The British government put out a call requesting people to move to Britain, and many Muslims answered that call to leave their homes and to move here. In the 1950s, this resulted in large-scale migration. Some settled in the London area, whilst others going to work in the mills of Lancashire and Yorkshire. This migration continued throughout the 1960s and 70s, and this is why there is a large Muslim community in this country today. Why am I telling you this? Well, the simple truth is you hear a lot of negative things about Muslims and Islam on TV and in the newspapers and social media, and it would be very easy to think that Muslims are haters of other communities. We can't deny that so-called Muslims have been responsible for terrorist attacks, but these people do not represent the views of normal Muslims like me in this country or abroad.
I became a doctor because I wanted to, it sounds a cliche, but I wanted to help people, and I felt like being a doctor is a really good way to do that, help people in pain, people who are going through problems. And I must say part of the motivation for me wanting to be a doctor was my religion, Islam, because Islam teaches that the purpose of life is to serve one God alone and to help other people and serve society in any way you can.
Islam is all about virtues and values of charity, doing noble deeds, helping those less fortunate for you, and policing offers you to do all of that. I think all people as a set of communities, we stand for the same things. In our neighbourhoods we want the same things, in our workplace we want the same things, in our social environment we want the same things. Safety, peace, charitableness, doing good deeds for one another, nice environments, that's what we want.
Al-Imdad Foundation is an international aid relief organisation currently operating in over 70 countries around the world. Al-Imdad Foundation are there to help regardless of race, religion, creed or culture. Just to give you a few examples of some of the work that we carry out, we feed the homeless and the needy here in Lancashire every Sunday mornings, and we provide hot meals to those in need. At the same time, at the local hospital here in Blackburn, the Royal Hospital, we provided 2 dialysis machines worth £20,000 each. And we work with children with cancer, we support dementia patients, we also support in drug recovery programs, and wherever there's a need here in the UK, the Al-Imdad Foundation teams are there to help.
One of the highlights of the charity was going down 2 years ago. It was a Somerset floods. They've never seen Muslims before, so we're there going down, giving them sandwiches, blankets, and all in all, giving out hugs. And one particular lady came to us and actually said, "Can I give you a hug? And can I apologize?" It says, "A hug is fine. Why apologize?" He goes, "Unbeknown to me, in my ignorance, I have called you names, and you people have actually made me realize that what I read on the news is not true. You people have come and helped us." I said, "Well, this is what I'm sure all major religions will teach you, to try and help one another."
Recently, in December of 2015, when the floods hit Cumbria, the Al Imdad Foundation teams were there on the ground for 3 weeks continuous, just to help our neighbours who are in need. We helped providing food parcels, blankets, with the clean-up operation, and we worked with the rescue services, the emergency relief teams, just to make a difference. This is our country, these are our neighbours. Even though all this community work is carried out on a daily basis by us and countless other groups, we are still viewed with suspicion by some.
Whenever there is any international terrorist attack that happens, as a Muslim Member of Parliament, I feel almost responsible to say something about it and try to dissociate these terrorist acts away from Islam, because they really have no place in my religion at all. And I also, of course, feel very sad because a lot of people's views about Muslims and Islam comes from these types of incidents.
But when a terrorist attack happens, it doesn't just bring structures apart, it brings people apart. And as a result, over here in our localities also, we will have a lot of people who will see a common identity. You all look the same, so you all must be the same. I have personally witnessed Muslim women who are wearing the hijab or wearing the Islamic garb mistreated whilst walking to the mosque. Someone I know very closely, she had the Islamic garb on and she was spat at, she was sworn at, and she was pushed simply because she wore that.
Particularly if there's attacks somewhere, like when the Charlie Hebdo thing happened, when the Paris attacks happened, the number of hate crimes that were being talked about, whether they were reported or not, obviously I couldn't tell you, but they were through the roof. They were on newsfeed on Facebook all the time. That's quite scary, that somebody might think that I'm Muslim and therefore make the association of myself with somebody that has participated in an atrocity.
I think for us as Muslims, we're enraged when we hear that people are committing attacks in our religion in the name of Islam. For us, our religion is a peaceful religion, and anybody who doesn't abide to that is outside the religion. So all these people that are going around murdering relentlessly out there in the name of Islam, they're barbaric, and there's no room for them within our religion.
The first terrorist attack I remember happening was the 9/11. I think the first thing that, struck me was just utter horror at what had happened, and just the question about why would somebody want to do that?
How do we feel as Muslims? It's hard, it's disappointing, but equally as Muslims we shouldn't feel that we have to apologise every time there's a terrorist attack. And I think that's the frustration that a lot of Muslims are feeling. We don't have control over what's going on out there.
When a particular community is highlighted in the press, whatever their background, before other people form an opinion of them, it's best to get to know a little bit more about them rather than simply what's reported in the press. And I think then we'll generally find a much truer picture which shows a much more positive image in most cases.
What you'll find amongst many within the Muslim community is that you will find through generations previous within those families and communities is that they have either been working as merchant seamen on British fleets, part of the war efforts in the First World War and the Second World War. At least 400,000 Muslims were part of the British war effort in the First World War alone.
A lot of people aren't aware that there are Muslims who are serving within the British military. There are currently about 600 Muslims who are serving within the British Armed Forces. Muslims have served in the British Armed Forces defending Britain for decades, if not centuries.
We're normal people living in society, and our beliefs might be slightly different to non-Muslims, but it doesn't automatically mean that they're sympathetic to terrorism in any way or a potential terrorist.
Our work is simply to build trust between Muslims and non-Muslims. And we do that by celebrating and promoting common heritage, because we feel that the more people are aware and understand where each other comes from, there will be a tolerant and cohesive society.
What appears on the surface is our colour of our skin, tone of our voice, the type of words we use in our language. That's superficial, because our hearts and our souls and our minds are completely different, and we're all at one.
We are stronger together. We need to unite and say to these groups on the outskirts of our society who have tried to hijack our values, enough is enough. We don't want any of your rubbish within our community.
Britain represents an idea to me, and that idea is inherent in the democratic tradition. It is a society that has given me, like everyone else, so much, and therefore the pride comes in through the life that we live and the life that we want to pass on to our society at large.
The final prophet, peace be upon him, has said, "The best of mankind are those who benefit mankind." What a beautiful saying. If we all were to act upon this and to help one another, how the world would be today. Let's contemplate, make a difference, and love one another.
Talk to me, say what you want to me. Don't leave me wondering what's in your mind. Walk with me, let all your thoughts go free. Open the lock with me and see what we find.